Up next on The Bottom Line, we'll catch up with some young county residents who have a real opportunity to become positive citizens. We'll get some FaceTime with Strathmore's go-to guy, Eliot Pfanstiel, and a visit to the county's newest dairy farm where cows and computers are working hand in hand. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. Programs involving mentoring have risen in popularity here in Montgomery County as the county has grown and changed demographically. The Task Force on Mentoring of Montgomery County's mission is to expand access to mentoring programs to youth throughout the county and help the community understand that mentoring is a valuable prevention tool. Recently, a group of young residents and their mentors paid a visit to the County Council. About 50 students from Broad Acres Elementary School, Julius West Middle School, and Springbrook High School were at the council building for a day to celebrate January as Mentoring Month here in Montgomery County. Students got a real-life view of what it's like to be a council member or one of the staff, and a few of them looked pretty comfy.
Felt pretty simple, good. Like, you know, it felt to be one of the big people in charge, especially, and felt really relaxed. Felt like I had control over the law and everything. And that was really nice.
I'd like to greet you and say hello.
The Task Force on Mentoring here in Montgomery County has been a pillar of support for at-risk youth for more than 2 decades. School Superintendent Dr. Joshua Starr stopped by to thank the group of youngsters for their hard work and told us mentoring can be so critical to a child's success.
All our kids need to understand that this is a community that cares about them. And kids do well when they know, when they have great relationships with adults, and whether that's with teachers or staff or whether it's members of the community. The more that our kids understand how much we care about them and want to see this succeed, the better off they're going to be in school and in life.
Dr. Starr gave the students the opportunity to ask him whatever was on their minds and even ask them a question or two, and he was impressed with what these future leaders had to say.
So what do you guys think the most important thing about being an adult is and getting a job?
You need to be able to thrive in society, support yourself and your family if you have one.
Without hard work, you won't be able to achieve a lot.
And the young men who posed as council members told us, though that might not be first on their list of potential careers, their mentoring has helped them see the importance of their work.
Everybody should help each other out, even in little things. And just helping out kids, teach them right from wrong, be like their conscience in a way, it's rewarding and it's fun.
Being a mentor means like encouraging the students younger than I am to be something bigger when they become older, because we really need people to become a doctor or a lawyer. So that would be really, really nice.
His love of music and the arts struck him at a young age. After Eliot Pfanstiel saw West Side Story at the age of 11, he was bitten by the bug. Today, he is the founding president and current CEO of Strathmore. It's an affiliation he's had for close to 30 years. We got some FaceTime with this respected leader who told us what's up next for Strathmore. Eliot, thank you for having us to Strathmore to talk about this magnificent facility. Talk a little bit about how you ended up here.
I've been here a long time. The Strathmore Hall Foundation was incorporated 30 years ago. The idea was to have a county-owned piece of property but a nonprofit running it. That way the county would never be responsible for artists or the vagaries of funding. And we would have a facility that was very sustainably supported by the county government. Hence the mansion. The mansion was bought, 11 acres, $1.2 million, a stunning steal because it turned out to be next door to a metro station. So for the first 15 years, it was just life in the mansion. A little music room, 100 seats, a lot of art exhibits, and a whole lot of weddings, which is how we funded ourselves to begin with. That then grew into a dream, the Music Center at Strathmore, which ended up costing about $100 million. By the way, that's about 1/3 the cost of any other comparable professional hall like this in the country, and we got an arts education center.
Step here, boys and girls.
Today, we happen to have 10,000 second graders who are just finishing up 4 days of performances here. They come and they hear the National Philharmonic. They have their first exposure to this building. They go home and say, "Mommy, Mommy, what a cool place I went to." And it's not even scary. And hopefully sometime they will come back in their life. The stunning thing we found out was the University of Montgomery County loves the arts, but we had never seen them all in one place. And it turns out that if I do a Chinese performance, I have a Chinese audience. And if I do an Argentinian performance, I have an Argentinian, not just a Hispanic, an Argentinian audience, and so forth. So you have 140 plus languages spoken in Montgomery County Public Schools. So suddenly we're seeing a Montgomery County that only existed on demographic projections of park and planning. Now they're actually showing up. And it saved us financially. 60% of our performances are for other cultures other than just sort of the white Anglo-Saxon crowd. And it has been fantastic. Then age. We find out that the senior citizens, of course, have time and money and education. They want stuff. So we created a whole program we take up to Asbury Methodist now. And of course, those are the people who are most of the classical audience. It's stunning how far people come to be at a place of this quality. And when they get here, they find out there's no fee for parking. There's no ticket fee. So it's cheaper to come here, even though the artists are the same ones they'll see at other venues. That turns out to be the winning combination.
So you've been open 10 years, bursting at the seams. There's got to be a future plan.
There is a 2020 vision. We're actually calling it Beyond Walls. It's take Strathmore off-site into the community so we don't expect everybody to always have to come here. It takes us into new kinds of art that pops up. It isn't always built in an expensive theater and all that kind of stuff. And into ways which will enhance. Our product isn't arts, our product is creative potential. They're different. Every human being in the world needs to exercise their creative potential, to believe in it, and then to do it no matter what vocation they go into. Arts happen to be very good at that, so that's the product we want to sell in the future. And so the future is that we will finish some building stuff here. We're going to enclose the boat terrace and put in an escalator. We are going to fix the mansion once and for all because it needs to be renovated as a historic mansion. And then we hope to raise a significant amount of money, which will take us off-site into every municipality in Montgomery County, where we will send young, engaged, energetic artists. What can we help elevate that will help you in your home living place? And then we can build a bridge between taking resources out to them, bringing them back to us, and will really be the intended vision, which is to be the arts for many people.
Are they doable? That's pretty lofty.
Well, first of all, everything's doable with money. So raising money is always part of the deal. But they are lofty in the sense that, does this million-person community deserve anything less? And then if you extend it to the true geographic reach, so you do have a much larger area, absolutely, absolutely.
So Eliot Pfanstiel is here to stay.
Oh, I don't know how long Eliot will be here, but he'll certainly see a fair amount of what we're talking about today realized. It's one of those things about planting trees under which you may or may not ever sit.
There are all kinds of new businesses popping up around Montgomery County, but rarely do we hear of someone taking the plunge into farming. In this next piece, we'll visit the county's newest farm and see how its forward-thinking owner plans to make it a success. So how much did she weigh when she was born?
She weighs probably around 75, 80 pounds.
When John Fendrick was a young boy living in Chevy Chase, he used to travel up county to ride his bike and take in the scenery.
What I like up county is the space.
Today, he and his wife Mary are the owners of the first new dairy farm in Montgomery County in 60 years. Woodbourne Creamery is located just inside the Montgomery County line on Ridge Road in Damascus. Here, happy cows are grass-fed, free-range, and milk on their own schedule.
So what's different here is that our cows are on pasture 24/7. They're outside all the time. So even today, it snowed a couple days ago, they're outside. They choose to be outside. I mean, they can walk in any time they want. They can get from the pasture. It's always open to get into here, so they can always come in here to be milked. Start making cheese.
Back in 2000, the Fendricks bought their first calf as a 4-H project for their children.
And we started with 1, 2, 3, and the next thing you knew, we had about 45. And so at some point we realized this is no longer a little hobby.
After looking for a farm for several years, they found the Rock Hill Orchard, a 140-acre pick-your-own fruit and vegetable farm in the county's ag reserve. They built the milking facility at the back of the property, where the cows graze and systematically come to be milked twice a day.
We have a robotic milker, which there are actually only 3 of these in the state of Maryland. And we're the first all-pasture robotic milking operation in North America. What that means is that there are other robotic milkers where the cows are in pasture part of the year. We're the first one that the cows are in pasture year-round, which is more similar to what they do in Europe or New Zealand or Australia.
This unique system works 24 hours a day and is completely computerized. John Fendrick has his own computer consulting firm, so to him, this futuristic way of farming makes perfect sense. If one of the cows has a problem or the system hits a glitch, he or his wife is notified by phone, and most times they are able to make the fix from home. They are currently milking 22 cows. Their robot can handle up to 65 cows per day.
There's a little bit of work we actually have to do with the robot itself, but most of it I do sort of whenever I want. I mean, I control everything with it via my phone.
And this message was just telling me that the same cow went through a second time and it's too soon, so it's not milking that cow.
If a cow gets sick and say we give penicillin, you put that into the computer. The computer knows how many days that milk can't go into the bulk tank. It just happens automatically. So unlike a traditional dairy, you have to sort of remember, oh, this cow has medication. I mean, but here it's like foolproof because it just happens. And then it cleans the whole thing automatically.
Once the milk is milked from the cow, it goes into a bulk tank where it is then sent on for pasteurization.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty well.
From there, it is bottled up and sold at the Rock Hill Orchard Farm Market on Ridge Road. The Fendrick started selling this fresh Guernsey milk in September. Already there are customers who make a special stop for this unique treat.
We really liked is that only a few weeks after we started selling the milk, we had customers come in who were just coming to get the milk. You know, it would start out as people bought the milk and they came, it was like, oh, well, let's, you know, we're getting apples, we're getting vegetables, let's buy some milk. Now they're coming for the milk, and then, you know, they'll either just buy a gallon of milk or they'll buy, you know, they'll say, oh, well, since I'm here, well, maybe I'll grab some apples. So it's actually a complete reverse of the way we, you know, we started, but that's what we're looking for.
Montgomery County and the state of Maryland have been very responsive to the needs of Woodbourne Creamery. The county council assisted the Fendricks in getting funding for conservation aspects of running the farm.
This county is very supportive. I mean, this property not only is in the Ag Reserve, this property is actually has a conservation easement on it from the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation. So we actually can't develop the property at all. What that allowed us to do is basically buy the property because basically we could buy it at a price we could afford. And this is 140 acres in Montgomery County.
What a pretty color. It is kind of a creamy color.
It's a creamy color because Guernsey milk is very high in beta carotene.
John Fendrick admits there's been quite a learning curve when it comes to running a farm.
Yeah, it's fresh local milk.
He tells us he's had to determine how to avoid problems with a lot of advanced planning, which is something this IT guy isn't accustomed to. In the end, he says he doesn't plan on getting rich selling milk, but would be happy with a self-sustaining operation.
Our goal was really to size this to what we could sell in our store. I mean, that was the real goal. I mean, we were sort of playing around thinking about maybe we'd sell to some restaurants, maybe try to find like a location down county in Bethesda or, you know, in that area somewhere we could sort of, you know, once or twice a week take milk down. We have enough, I'll say headaches, issues, just getting the product from top of the hill or side of the hill down to the bottom of the hill in order for us to sell that, you know, that at least right now. I mean, so, you know, so we really size the operation sort of on what we think we could actually sell down there.
Well, that does it for this edition of The Bottom Line. We leave you this week with our Montgomery Moment, some sights and sounds from the Magruder Damascus Trail. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.